Hey, welcome back to the Brand Verb. I'm Sebastian Samuel, and today we're talking about something that can make or break your brand. Consistency. Now, I know consistency isn't the sexiest topic. It's not as flashy as a viral marketing campaign or as exciting as launching a new product. But trust me when I say, without consistency, your brand is just noise. If your audience doesn't recognize you, if your messaging, visuals, and tone are all over the place, they're going to forget you. And the last thing you want is to be forgettable. So today, we're breaking it down. Why consistency matters, what happens when you don't have it, and how to make sure your brand stays strong, clear, and unforgettable. All right, let's go. Imagine you're scrolling through Instagram and you see a post with bold colors, a witty caption, and a cool minimalist design. Without even checking the handle, you know it's Nike. Or you see a motivational quote in black and white with sleek typography. You don't even have to think. That's Apple. That's what brand consistency does. It makes your brand instantly recognizable, like a signature. Now, let's flip it. Imagine one day, Nike's social media posts use soft pastel colors and a delicate handwritten font. The next day, they go back to their signature bold and powerful style. Then, a week later, their messaging sounds completely different, like they hired a whole new team overnight. Would that feel off? Would you second guess if it was really Nike? Exactly. That's the who sent you test. If someone can't immediately tell it's you, your brand isn't consistent enough. Let's talk trust. Because that's what branding is all about. Think of your favorite restaurant, the one you go back to over and over. Now, imagine if one day the food tasted different, the menu changed, the logo was suddenly blue when it was always red, the waiters had a different uniform. Wouldn't you feel weird? Like, did this place get bought out or is something off? That's what happens when a brand isn't consistent. People start questioning it. And the second people feel uncertainty, they lose trust. Because trust isn't built in a day. It's built over time, through repeated, reliable experiences. And if your brand looks, sounds, or feels different every time someone interacts with it, they'll have no reason to trust you. And without trust, they're not buying. So, how do you make sure your brand stays consistent? It comes down to three things. 1. Visual consistency. What people see. Your colors, fonts, logo, and overall design should be the same everywhere. Your website, social media, packaging, ads. If you change your look every few months, people will think you don't even know who you are. Pro tip, create a brand style guide so that no matter who designs your content, it always looks like you. 2. Messaging consistency. What people hear and read. Your tone of voice should match your brand personality, whether it's playful, bold, professional, or inspirational. Imagine if one day your brand is fun and casual, and the next day it sounds like a law firm. That's brand whiplash, and it confuses your audience. Pro tip, define your brand voice and stick to it. If your brand is funny, be funny everywhere. If it's elegant, keep it polished. 3. Experience consistency. How people feel when they interact with you. Whether someone emails you, DMs you, buys from you, or walks into your store, the experience should always feel the same. Think about Starbucks. Whether you order in New York, Tokyo, or Paris, the experience is consistent. And that's why people trust them. Pro tip, Set brand values that shape how you treat customers, no matter where they find you. Okay, what happens when you're inconsistent? Let me tell you a quick story. I once worked with a business owner who was struggling with brand identity. The website looked corporate and sleek. The Instagram was fun and casual. The emails sounded robotic, and their ads were all over the place. People weren't connecting because they had no idea what this brand stood for. So we stripped it down. We made sure the visuals, messaging, and customer experience all matched. And guess what? Engagement went up, and their audience finally started recognizing them. That's consistency. Because here's the truth. If you're not consistent, you're forgettable. Now, I get it. Some people think being consistent means being boring. Not true. You can evolve while staying recognizable. Here's how. 1. Lock in your core elements. Keep your colors, fonts, and voice consistent so people always recognize you. 2. Experiment within your brand identity. You can try new things. Just make sure they still feel like you. 3. Think of your brand like a person. If your brand was your best friend, how would they talk? What would they wear? How would they act? Once you define that, stick with it. Finally, brand consistency isn't about looking the same. It's about being recognizable, trustworthy, and unforgettable. People should see your brand and know it's you. Hear your message and recognize your voice. Interact with you and feel the same energy every single time. If this episode made you rethink how your brand shows up, good. That's the first step. Now, go make sure your brand is tight, clear, and consistent. And if you found this helpful, hit that subscribe button and share this podcast with someone who needs to hear it. Thanks for hanging out with me today on the Brand Verb. This was great. I'll see you next time with more ways to help you level up your brand and yourself. Until then, remember, your brand isn't just what you do, it's what people remember. Make it count.